Hello, Arlington High School Class of 2021. Congratulations on being halfway through your senior year of high school. I have a senior at my house, and I cannot believe how quickly the year is going. Obviously, this year is different for you than maybe you expected your senior year to be, but I hope that you're still enjoying it and taking in all of the moments of your final year at Arlington High School. My name is Deb Ebert, and I am the Scholarship and Donor Services Coordinator here at the Findlay-Hancock County Community Foundation. I want to thank you for joining me today. I am going to share with you a little bit about our universal application that we administer here through the foundation. We have about 140 scholarships here at the foundation, and last year in 2020, we gave out about $370,000 in scholarship dollars. So it's a really great program and gives you lots of opportunities. You all actually are very fortunate because you have a group of people, the Arlington School Foundation, who have invested a lot of time and effort and money, donors, to create a lot of scholarships specifically for Arlington High School seniors. So you really have some folks there in your community to be grateful for the opportunities that they're presenting to you. What I want to do today is I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to walk you through the universal application so that you can take a look at how you need to go about applying for that. And it's a pretty simple process, pretty user-friendly. You will need to have some bits and pieces of information as you apply, as you complete it, but I think you'll find it to be pretty user-friendly and you can always save and come back to it at any time. It doesn't have to be completed all in one sitting. So I am going to right now share my screen with you and we're going to start walking through the process. Okay, first thing that I want you to do is you will need to go to our website, which is www.community-foundation.com. And when you get there, you will see this page. And this is our homepage. And across the top, you will see these links all the way at the end of scholarships. Click on that, and it will bring you down to this particular page. And what you'll see is a link right here. And this link shows you all of the scholarships that we hold. If there are some that are specifically for Hancock County, some that are specifically for Arlington, and what the criteria is for that. If there's a certain GPA requirement or you're majoring in something or attending college somewhere, it'll share that information with you. So along the side, you will see this application types. Click on that, and that's going to take you here to the common application. You will see this big blue button that says apply today. Click on that and it takes you directly to it. This is the page that you will see. I'm going to actually go to what's called our sandbox, which is kind of our backside of it where we can play in the sandbox. If I do it in this actual site, the live site, it'll mess things up for our system. So, but you will see this. This will be your logon page, and along here alongside, you will see these tutorials, videos, written, whichever, so that as you go through, if you've got questions or there's something that you aren't sure about, you can always check back on that. So you're going to create your own logon page. So again, I'm going to go to this one. You will click on create new account. And this is where you're going to see your logon page to get your account created. Once you have done that, you won't see this page anymore, but this is what you'll see initially. Notice that there's some information across the top telling you how to kind of go back rather than using your browser, your back button. As you go through, you'll see at the bottom a previous button. You can click on that. If you use your back browser, you're going to lose information that you've put in there. So anything that has an asterisk is required. So I'm going to make up some things here. So I am Amanda applicant, fake Amanda. You do need to put your email address in here. And I am going to give you a suggestion. and this comes from previous experience, you need to get a grown-up email address. A lot of folks put their school email address in here, which is great. I can contact you through that now. But if you happen to get a scholarship that is a renewal and I'm needing to reach out to you next May after you've finished your freshman year of college, and it's your school email, high school email address, you may not have access to that anymore. And so then I'm going to struggle being able to reach out to you to find out information to get you to renew the scholarship that you once earned. So get yourself a grown-up email address. I'm sure that as you are applying for college, you're finding that you probably should have that anyway, so that colleges and universities can reach out to you now as well. So I am going to put in just fake information here. I'm going to say Arlington. I think that's right. And county as Hancock. Okay, so this is your registration page. So again, if it has an asterisk, we need that information. And then you will click next once you've got that created. Password. I do not know your password, so you need to write this password down. I will not have access to it. So if you forget your password, you can't email me and say, hey, can you tell me what my password is to get into the site? I will not have access to that. So please write this down. Again, this is one that will follow you. So if you get a renewal scholarship and next year you need to log back in, it'll be the same information. So make sure that you write down whatever the password is that you choose, write that down and save it somewhere. Again, I will not have access to that. Create account. And continue. Here you will see the information about the scholarship and the due date. Due date is February 3rd, 2021 at 12 noon. So that deadline is coming up. So you need to get started on this. It also gives you the website again if you want to get more specifics about criteria. So then you're going to see this blue apply. Click on apply and it's going to take you to the actual application. Contact information at the top, there's a tab. This gives me everything that I put in there. So in looking at this, here's an example. I didn't pay close enough attention and I have a capital here in my word. Again, remember, you are making an application for scholarships. Other folks are going to look at your application. Selection committees are going to be reviewing the applications to determine who qualifies, who is awarded the scholarship. So make sure that you pay attention to capital letters, spelling, punctuation. Don't text, type. So kind of be a grown-up. It's time to start being a grown-up. So I did not pay attention to that. So learn from me. You will also see right here a link, contact email history. You can always click on that and it'll show you any emails that have come either from you or to you within our system. So let's get started on the application. First question, if you are a child or a grandchild of a staff member or a board member, you cannot apply for scholarships. You are ineligible. So that's why we have this question. I'm going to say, no, I am not a child or grandchild of an employee. Then you're going to continue. You are simply clicking in the buttons. Again, notice the asterisks, so they are required. County, this is a drop down because we have a lot of other counties that can have scholarships criteria for. So we are in Hancock County. Birth date, I think I said was 10/01. And graduating high school senior. You all are graduating high school seniors, so you're going to click on that. Next question, do you wish to be considered for need-based scholarships? What we have here is if you say yes, it will move on to another question that's where you'll need to upload your FAFSA, your SAR, EFC, all of that stuff that you've probably been doing already for colleges. If you say no, you don't want to be considered, you won't have to do any of that extra. But it will also eliminate you from any scholarships that are specifically for students who are in financial need for scholarship money. So if you click on no, you're eliminating yourself from some of the scholarships that might be available to you. So I'm going to click on yes so that you can then see what else you might have to do later. Parent guardian information. So again, I'm putting in the information that relates to yourself. Oh no, it's 1-4, isn't it? I think. Sorry. So I'm going to say that my parent works at Cooper and that my parent is the CEO. Sure, it's my mother. Say, Mommy Dearest. Then it allows you to add a second parent guardian information if you want to. If you say yes, then you're going to have all that same information to put for second parent or guardian. If you say no, you're done with that. The reason why we want this is for several different reasons. In August, anyone who's been awarded a scholarship, there's a big flyer that is in the local newspaper, and it will list you and the scholarship you received and your parents' names. So that way your parents can have some recognition as well for helping you get to this point. Also, if we run into a problem being able to contact you either this year or in future years, we have a second contact person in a parent and guardian. So it's completely up to you as to if you list both or if you list one, not a problem, but at least one is required. I'm going to say, no, I don't want to add anybody else. And then I'm done with that. This next section right here, education financing. This is what you're seeing because I marked yes to that financial need question up here. If you mark no, you're not going to see this part of the application. But this is where I need to upload my FAFSA. And I'm going to click on that, have that saved somewhere. And then you'll see that you also need to enter that EFC score that's on your SAR report. That number is there. So make sure you add that in there. School of choice, I'm going to say, see, there's my caps. Pay attention. Oh my goodness. I'm going to say I'm going to Bowling Green State University. And later on, you will see why I have chosen that. We're going to say 15,000. I don't know. This give an estimate as to what you might think. I'm going to put $500, but I'm sure that that's low price there. So are you financing your own education without help from parents or other individuals? I'm going to say partially. Then this is where we get into your high school information, high school city. Right. Yeah, that's a drop down because we have some of these other states. You'll see we do have scholarships out there for some of those students. So that's why we've got a drop down there. County, again, Hancock. Graduation year, 2021. Yay, how exciting. Ohio high school attended. This again is a drop down. So we've got all of these different schools. These are all schools that have scholarships that can be applied for and be eligible for. I am putting Arlington because that's who you folks are. I also reside in the Arlington School District. My GPA is a 3.7. Now you will see several different questions. They are marked with an asterisk, they're required. These again, determine what you might qualify for later. So how you answer this, you might have more questions to answer. So I'm going to answer yes to everything so you can see how it flows. So yes, I participated in athletics in high school. Yes, I was in clubs and extracurriculars. Yes, I took some college level classes. Now, SAT, ACT, a lot of universities and colleges are making that optional this year for your class. So we have not made this a required piece of information, but if you've taken the ACT, SAT, and you want to put that information in here, this is where you would do that. So we'll say I have a 22. Church activities, yes. Volunteering and community, yes. Here's where you're going to put some awards and honors. Anything from high school that you have any sort of awards or honors. Maybe you were student of the month. Maybe you were National Honor Society. Math student of the year. BBC Defensive Player of the Year. And you're going to list any awards or honors that you received and put, what years were you on National Honor Society junior and senior year? Put that down. BBC Player of the Year, put that down for whatever year that was. The more information that you put on here, the better it is for you when the selection committees start taking a look at these applications and they're comparing students. So extracurriculars, this again goes because up here, I marked that I was involved in extracurriculars. So I marked yes. If you mark no, if you weren't involved in any and you mark no, you will not see this next question. But I marked yes, so this is where it's at. And I'm going to say that I was a tutor and I was in National Honor Society and I volunteered with Habitat for Humanity. These are specific criteria for some of the scholarships. So that's why these are listed specifically. You might have done something else that's not listed. Just click none of the above. Then you're going to list in here what did you do? Okay, what activities, what extracurriculars were you involved in? How many hours a week did you spend with it? Or how many hours a month did you spend with it? What years in high school were you involved there? Put all of this information down. A lot of our scholarships are related to community service, extracurriculars, clubs and organizations that you're part of. So list as much as you can for the selection committees to take a look at. So I'm just going to put this because we're not going to go into that. We're going to keep moving on. This question, again, is because I answered yes to athletics. If you answer no to athletics, you will not see any of these questions. They all feed off of one another. But I answered yes, so I'm going to say that I was in cheerleading and I was in soccer and I ran track. How many years did I play? I played all 4 years in high school. And yes, I played varsity sports. If you didn't, mark no. There may not be another question for you related to that. If you mark yes, you'll have to answer more later. Sports details, this is again, tell us, what sport were you involved in? How long were you in that sport? Tell us a little bit about it. Were you the captain? Were you a captain 2 years? Were you a 3-year varsity letter winner? Just give us information, as much information about the sports that you were involved in high school, right here in this spot. This goes back to the varsity sports question. I answered yes, that I played varsity sports. So now I have some more questions to answer. It might seem redundant to you, but this is all very specific criteria for some of the scholarships. So the more you answer, the more information you're giving the selection committee when they take a look at your application. How many varsity sports? I played 3, cheerleading, track, soccer. How many years did I play? I played varsity sport 3 years. I wasn't in any varsity sports my freshman year. Did I participate prior to my senior year? Yes, I did. Again, some of these will feed onto another question. What did I earn a varsity letter in? Soccer and track and other, because I got one for cheerleading. Varsity letter, how many did I earn? I earned 3. Did I get one my junior or senior year? Yes, I did. This right here, volunteer community service, is because I answered yes to the question earlier that I was involved in volunteering or community service. If you weren't and you marked no, you will not see this part. Okay, but if you mark yes, then again, you need to tell us a little bit about what were the things that you did. Were you involved in a Habitat for Humanity build? Did you work at the city mission? Did you collect coats for Christmas? What sort of things were you involved in? Did you teach like Vacation Bible School at church? Do you help in the nursery at church? Any of the things that you might be doing that's volunteer or community service work. List it here. What years in high school did you do it? How often were you involved with that in a week or a month? Again, the selection committees want to know as much as they can about you. Now we're going on to college. College or university you plan to attend or are currently attending if you are, there are some of our scholarships that are for current college students. This is a drop down. The reason that we have these 5 listed here is because those are very specific scholarship criteria. You may not be going to any of these 5. That's why we've got the other, and that's fine. But we're going to say we're going to Bowling Green State University. And again, you guys will see why later on. Expected graduation year, we're hoping you all graduate in 2025. And the next school year, this upcoming school year, where will you be in school? You will all be undergrad freshmen. So that's what you're going to mark. Type of education, are you going into a trade school? Are you going to 2-year or a 4-year? You folks won't really do the non-traditional or graduate because you're going to be incoming freshmen, but we do have scholarships for that as you get older. So we're going to say 4-year college. I am going to get a bachelor's degree and I'm going to go into nursing. This lists all the majors and it is a required thing for you to indicate as to, we've given all kinds of options. If what you're going to major in is not in this list, just click other. If you're not sure, just click undecided. That's okay too. If there's something more you want to tell us about your major, put that here. Your minor is also required. I'll tell you what, most people have no idea what they're going to minor in, so you can just put undecided and that's fine. Acceptance status, yes, I've been accepted to BG, and yes, it is outside of Hancock County, and yes, I will be a full-time student. So right here, what we have now, you need to have an official transcript sent to us from your guidance counselor. We've made this easy for you. You will put your guidance counselor's email address right here. So you need to put Mrs. Hutchinson's email address right here. I don't have it off the top of my head, so I'm just going to put something else. Now, I've also made it easier for you that you can simply cut and paste this template if you would like to. You don't have to, you can put your own note in that email, but I've made it here for you, and it also lets Mrs. Hutchinson know what the deadline is to have that submitted. So once you've got her email address in here, you're going to click on this compose email button and it's going to bring up an email. So now I'm going to paste in what I had there. Please make sure that you add your name. Okay, don't forget to let her know who it is that's requesting this and put her name, and then put a subject line so that when it comes into her email box, she knows who it's from, what it's about, and has the information. And then once I've got that, then I'm going to hit send. And it'll show you that it's sending. Right here, email was sent. That's your confirmation that the email went out. So what's going to happen right now is Mrs. Hutchinson would then get 2 emails. She would get one from you requesting the transcript, and she would get one from our system that gives her a link to go to upload that transcript. Now, be patient with her. She has a lot of seniors who are asking the same thing for all these different scholarships that they're applying for her to send them to colleges and universities. Be patient. Most guidance counselors will wait until the end of the first semester to upload the transcript so that we have the most accurate and up-to-date information about your schooling. So if you don't see that she has done that yet, don't panic, don't worry about it, don't keep hounding her about it. She will get it done, trust me, she's very, very professional. knows what she's doing. And I also then, once the application process closes, I then am also reaching out to guidance counselors just as a reminder to anybody who still needs to get that information in. So she will get that in. Just because she hasn't does not mean it's going to hold up your application. Your application can still be submitted without her doing her part yet, okay? When we continue, there is an essay that you need to complete, just letting the selection committee know, why do you feel that it's important for you to receive the scholarship? How is it going to work for you? What are some of your goals for the future? What are you wanting to do? As much as you can give the selection committee, do a great job here. This is where you really need to pay attention to punctuation and capitalization, and don't type like you text. Okay, you all have had composition classes, so I know that you know what you're doing here. So you're going to put your essay. Now we've got specific requirements. I'm going to mark a lot of these so that you can then see that later on. I'll explain that later on. So you will just put a check mark in any of these that might correspond to you and your life. If none of them do, there's also a button that says none of them apply to me. So I'm going to say that I'm a member of the credit union, and my dad's a member of the Legacy Farmers Co-op. I am the child of Cooper Tire employee. That's important to put in there. Also, I have type 1 diabetes. I've been in National Honor Society. I live on a farm. Let me see. I was in theater, I was in Girl Scouts, and I was in student government. Again, you'll understand why I marked all of these later on. I'll explain it. So just again, that's very important. If any of those apply to you, mark them, okay? Letter of recommendation. This is exactly like what you did for the transcript with Mrs. Hutchinson, only this time it's going to be a letter of recommendation. So you're going to need to have someone that you want to write a letter of recommendation for you. It can be a coach, a teacher, someone you volunteer for, a neighbor, someone that maybe you have worked with that can speak to your character, speak to your integrity, give a lot of information about you, your work habits. It just can't be a family member. So you will need to make sure that you've got somebody that you feel would do a great job at this, of writing a nice letter of recommendation for you. So you'll do the same thing. You'll fill in their email address in this spot. And again, I have a template for you if you want to use this template. If you don't want to use the template, you don't have to. You can always type in your own information. But if you don't use the template, please type something in so they know what it is that you're wanting. But again, with my template, I have the due date so that then they know when they need to have that submitted into the system. Hit compose email. I'm pasting it in here. Remember, you want to put their name, dear fake employer. Make sure you put your name. I'm Amanda, applicant. Subject, letter recommendation. Again, make sure you've got all the information there that you want to have that person receive, and then you're going to click send. You will see then email was sent. So again, just like letter of transcript, they'll get 2 emails, one from you requesting it, one from our system with the link for them to go to upload their letter of recommendation. It will not hold up your application at all, okay? So send that off to them, and then it's the ball's in their court, so to say. I marked that I was in Girl Scouts in those check boxes earlier. That's why this question is here. If you didn't mark it, you won't see this question. Yes, I did receive an award. Work experience, anything that you've done in high school for work. Have you been mowing the yard for a neighbor all through high school? Have you been working at Jack and Doe's there in Arlington? Have you been delivering newspapers? Whatever job opportunities that you have had, mark that here. List what you've done, what the job was, who the employer was, that sort of information. Again, some of our scholarships have criteria that you had a job in high school and that you were showing that level of responsibility. So that's why this question is in there. Are you currently employed? Yes. Employer name, I'm going to say Jack and Doe's, part-time. And we're going to say I get about 15 hours of work a week. So now, true and accurate statement. Yes, everything I've put in this application is true and accurate to the best of my knowledge. So you're going to click agree. You're going to type in your name. And then you're going to get down to the bottom of the application. This is where it gets a little stressful once you hit a button. If you come to abandon request and you click on that, everything you've done is gone. It's saying that you've decided you're not applying. And so everything that you've just put in there will be gone. And if you want to start over, it's going to be starting from scratch. Down here is save application. This can be, you can click on save application at any time in the process. You do not have to complete this application all in one sitting. You can get about partway through. Maybe you don't have the recommender's email address or your guidance counselor's email address, or there's certain information you don't yet know or haven't yet decided, or time's running out, whatever reason. You can always click save application and it'll save whatever you have done. And then when you log back in, you can pick up where you left off. Everything will already be there that you've done already once you hit save application. If you get it all done, you're all finalized, then you can go to submit application. And that's what we're going to do now. What's happening now in the background is it is taking all of the questions that you answered and it is filtering those into the scholarships. And it's going to show you on a screen exactly what scholarships you now qualify for. Doesn't mean it's the scholarship you're being awarded. Again, those will all go to the selection committees in March, and then the awards will be announced in May at your senior awards nights. But this screen right here that just popped up, this is saying, based on the questions and the way you answered them, these are the scholarships that you are eligible for. So you will see all of these Arlington School Foundation. Remember, I mentioned Arlington School Foundation to you at the beginning. You've got a great organization there in your community, and they've spent a lot of time and effort. They've got some amazing donors that have provided these scholarships for Arlington High School graduates. So some of these questions I answered specifically so that you could see what you might qualify for. I said Bowling Green State University. That's because if you are an Arlington High School senior and you are going to be attending Bowling Green State University, there's a scholarship for you. So that's why I marked Arlington and Bowling Green State University, because that's where I was going to go. There's a scholarship available. I marked I was in athletics. Arlington Athletic Boosters have a great scholarship out there available for you. 4 different students typically get the scholarship. So it's not just a one-person scholarship, which is always great. But you've got all kinds of other scholarships. I marked in those check boxes that I lived on a farm. This one right here is specifically for Arlington students who live on a farm. Okay, so it's really important to take a look at every question on the application and see how it relates to you. So again, all these Arlington School Foundations, you guys have a great organization there in town. Then I marked that my parent worked for Cooper. So there's a Cooper scholarship. If your mom or your dad or your stepdad, stepmom, whatever, works there, you need to mark that because they have scholarships available for the children of employees. Then there are also other scholarships that are simply because you live in Hancock County and you met the criteria for that scholarship. So example, Findlay Rotary Club is a scholarship that is for all Hancock County students, not just Arlington kids. So based on my questions, how I answered them, I qualify for this. This particular one, I marked that I was diabetic. This is one for students who are diabetic in Hancock County. Then there's lots of others. I marked that I was part of the credit union. They have one for members of the credit union. So that's why I marked some the way I did. The Mailer Family Scholarship, that's specifically if you're going into nursing and you live in Hancock County. So again, it all depends on how you answer the questions as to what you might qualify for. You will qualify for not just Arlington School Foundation scholarships, but also any Hancock County scholarships that you are eligible for, that you meet the criteria for. So you did that one application where I did this one application as Amanda applicant, and there are all of these scholarships that I now qualify for. This is amazing. So one scholarship, a little bit of time, and this is what you could possibly get. Last year, we had a student who, not an Arlington student, but another student who received 6 scholarships through our foundation. One of those was a $10,000 scholarship, just one of the 6. So it's really important to just take your time with this, pay attention, give it the best effort, because you might find that you've got a lot of information out there, that a lot of scholarships that you applied for, that you are eligible for. So then it's going to show you here, these are ones that also require something else. So I'm going to hit continue so you can see what this means. Again, you can stop at any time in this process and come back to it. So here are all of these that it showed that I qualified for, okay? And it's going to show you what you still need to do. So for this one, it's going to show me I need another letter of recommendation. So you need to, exactly like you did for the first letter of recommendation in the application, you're going to do the same thing, but you're going to choose someone else. Teacher, coach, coworker, employer, neighbor, close family friend. Choose someone else. You will only need to choose one person. You might have all of these also requiring a letter of recommendation, but that one person can do it for all of these that might require it. So only ask one other person to do your letter of recommendation. So in the actual application, you'll need one person, and afterwards you'll need one person, okay? So you would just do the same thing. You can cut and paste, or you can type up your own email. You're going to put their email address in here, hit compose, and then send, okay? Down here, again, abandon request, you're done. Decline opportunity, you click that, it's going to show, no, I don't want that scholarship. I've changed my mind. I don't want that one. Maybe everything else, but not that one. Now, if you decline that, I will see you've declined it. You will see it when if your parent logs in, if your parent calls and questions me about it, I can say, well, your child declined that opportunity, got rid of the opportunity for that scholarship. So that will show. Again, you can hit save application. It saves wherever you're at, and you can come back to it. Or you can do this one letter recommendation for this one, hit submit application, and be done with that one. There was one, Findlay Rotary Club. You will see that that one also requires a letter of recommendation, but then they also require a budget form. So each one that you click on will show you if there's something else you have to do. And again, maybe you do the letter of recommendation, but you're not doing the budget form yet. You can hit save application, come back to it, okay? So it's a lot of information, I know. You can call our office. You can email me. Mrs. Hutchinson has my email address. You can also find any of that information on our website. You can go back to our website and find that information, staff, and I am right here. So you can email me, you can call our office. That number is down at the bottom of our website. Just reach out if you've got any questions, or reach out to Mrs. Hutchinson and she knows how to get hold of me. But you've got a lot of awesome opportunities there at Arlington through this universal application. So try it out. You can do it. It's important. As a mom, I'm seeing how important this is, and in this role, I'm seeing how important it is. So try it out, see what happens, and I'm sure that you guys know some folks who have already received scholarships in the past from us through Arlington. So good luck to you. Again, reach out if there's anything you need. Enjoy the rest of your senior year, and good luck.